What better way to explore the vast, beautiful countryside of Baja than with the legendary, multi-time winner of the Baja 1000, Malcolm Smith. Malcolm has been riding motorcycles for 40 years now, and he's laid tracks on some pretty spectacular country. Since the early days of the Baja 1000, he's been exploring the countryside and varied terrain of Baja, meeting the warm and wonderful people. He has found some of the most interesting trails and routes through this vanishing last frontier. Because he wants to share Baja with other enthusiasts, Malcolm Smith hosted the first annual Malcolm's 6 Days of Baja Invitational. The ride included 6 riding days through the countryside of Baja, ending in Cabo San Lucas. It took riders along the beaches, through the Bujum and pine forests, crossed the spectacular Baja Sierra mountain range several times, crossed dry lakes, and traversing of the desert to the tip of Baja more than 1,300 miles. The ride was challenging but not difficult, generally following dirt 2-track roads often used on the long Baja 1000 course. The route deviated occasionally from the race course to allow for more spectacular sceneries and macho loops for those who just never get enough. Moderate springtime temperatures, friendly people, great food and camaraderie, opportunities for exploring and discovery, flowers in bloom, whales spouting offshore all helped enable riders to experience Baja at its best. Malcolm arranged for a group of 55 lucky riders and 7 members of the support crew to accompany him on this 6-day adventure through Baja. After crossing the border, it was on to the town of Ensenada and the famous San Nicolas Hotel. This starting point for many Baja races also served as a great starting point for Malcolm's 6 Days of Baja ride. Riders took care of last-minute preparations, visited with each other, and checked in before attending the opening banquet and getting a good night's rest. Early each morning, course markers headed out to check and remark the route to help the riders find their way. Here, Jimmy Sones and Dennis Larrett are on the road by 4 a.m. A few hours later, and riders were eating breakfast and getting ready for their first day's adventure. The route took riders south on Highway 1 over some mountains and through some valleys into St. Thomas for gas. From here on, it was dirt roads up and over the coastal mountains to the ocean. You could smell the ocean air even before you could see the great deep blue. It would be the first of many opportunities to ride along the coast. One of the things learned early was never pass gas. Gasoline, that is. You can never be assured gas would be available at later locations. After topping off at village Erendira, it was time to ride some beaches. time stomach growls were beginning to be heard, riders reached San Antonio del Mar, where a picnic lunch was provided.
Crotchectomy. Kind of bad, huh?
That's an operation, Doc.
It was successful. It's a boy.
After lunch, it was down along the coast again with time for playing and taking in the sights.
Boulders. I wanted speed.
I got you.
Don't get a lunch, wait, let's check the ducks here.
Then it was on to the beach for the first of 140 miles of beach riding. Now that's fun. After reaching the valley of San Quentin, riders topped off their bikes before heading on to an old mill built by 19th century settlers from England. The mill, nestled next to a bay, provided a great stopping and resting place after 150 miles of fun and beauty. It was time to clean up, visit, make repairs, and wind down. It was a great first day.
Well, we got to make sure we don't leave anybody out there in Mexico, out in the wilds of Mexico.
The second day routed riders further south from San Quentin to Catavina, another 150 miles. Far from the hotel, there was an opportunity to explore the old mill, settlement, and graveyard. It was surprising to find English names on the gravestones in this Spanish-speaking land. Gas availability was a big problem on this day. A chase truck provided gas before routing riders up and over the mountains for another 90 miles before the chase truck could provide more gas. It's hard to imagine trying to get through this stretch without a lot of support. route was along the same rocky, hilly course often run by the Baja 1000. You can see how difficult it would be for racing trucks to pass on the narrow, dusty road. 1995 Baja 1000 trophy truck winner and ride participant Larry Ragland said racers have to plan their passes very carefully in here, often having to stalk their prey until just the right moment.
I'll see your video and praise you one.
You never know what you'll run into just when you think you are out in the middle of nowhere. Inland and climbing for several hours, the route weaved through thicker and thicker cactus forests. The Baja cactus were well over 60 feet high. The desert certainly has a beauty all its own. Gas and a picnic lunch were again provided by the chase trucks. After a couple of hours of not seeing any signs of civilization, it was a comforting sight to see friendly faces with fresh supplies. Route had lots of fast sand roads with pretty cactus and huge rocks. After hitting the pavement not far from the final destination, there were some old Indian paintings, a sign of earlier times when other people inhabited the area. As Malcolm often does, he had an alternative adventure route to the hotel. Another 150 miles completed, and it was into the town of Catavina. If you could call it a town, it had a gas station and hotel. Again, no phone or nightlife, but a good stopping place. for much needed rest, bench racing, and making necessary repairs. Being the rockiest and most technical riding day of the event, there were also some body repairs to be done. But nobody expected that it would be to one of the doctors, Jerome List, who would have to stitch up his own knee. And he had to do that quickly so he could attend to the injuries of others.
I fell over and I got through all those rough rocks up there, and I wasn't watching what I was doing, and next thing I knew I was flying through the air.
While some worked on bikes and bodies, others sat around the pool downing cervezas and bench racing. Another great day and a total of about 300 miles. The third day was the first of 3 long days at about 300 miles. It was also a special day routing riders along the Laguna Chapala dry lake, the famous dry lake in the movie On Any Sunday. Riders spent a lot of time on the lake, playing, taking pictures, and chasing each other across the lake. After the dry lake and some gas from the support truck, the route split, allowing for an easier course and a macho loop.
We're going into what is referred to on our maps as the macho section. 17 miles of loops. A little hard to see these things right now. 5th gear, hitting them pretty quick. In the bottom of the macho section here for the section that I believe Ken Richardson described to me. It's going to be very narrow. This is the last of the macho section.
Both routes rejoined heading east on the highway to the Bay of Los Angeles, or LA Bay as we refer to it. Coming over the mountains into the bay offered an incredible first view of the Sea of Cortez. After topping off with gas, it was on to what is nicknamed Interstate 5 for some high-speed gravel road time.
73!
Then it was out to the coast for some beach riding. With the tide coming in, the sand was very loose and made engines run hard. It was another picture-perfect moment. Next, it was off to San Francisco Bay for fuel and a specially arranged lunch. Malcolm pulled out all the stops here. We enjoyed a decadent lobster and shrimp lunch in the most remote, resort-like setting imaginable.
Let's get the silverware out. Hey, right with Malcolm. Where's it get?
I'm grateful.
Check your... Hey, look. Are you all right, honey?
The lunch was made even more enjoyable when riders were told Malcolm was paying for it. This misunderstanding sure surprised Malcolm as he rolled in with the last group and had to scramble to find enough money to pay for some 30 to 40 riders who had already left. It was back to the trail for some more riding. What do videographer Larry Tovey and helmet cam guru Dennis Larrett do after a good lunch and nobody's watching? Why, some serious jamming, of course. Gosh, that looks like fun. headed inland through some more cactus forest before eventually entering a small settlement named El Arco. More gas, then onward to San Ignacio, a little oasis out in the middle of nowhere. Another La Pinta hotel just like the night before, and everyone was really starting to feel comfortable. Another 300 miles for a total of about 600 miles had most bikes and riders starting to feel the distance. Riders, having adjusted to the fact that there were no phones, were actually surprised to find one here.
Well, we finally found a telephone after 3 days, and we were just going downtown to call home. It's been rather nice not knowing the news or anything for a few days. It's like going to another world.
Well, I'm really enjoying the ride so far. It's better than what I expected. And the scenery down here is quite different than what I thought it was going to be. And I understand tomorrow's going to be a great ride. I might be able to see some whales spouting out there. I'm looking forward to that.
What better way to cap off a long day of riding than with friends, food, beverages, and serious bench racing?
Honey, I wish you were here with us.
Listen,
Gosh,
this is my
I
date
miss you
tonight,
so
dear.
much.
Dear, is this dear girl cute enough? I hope you're not jealous, darling.
This is the best lemonade I've ever had. I can drink this stuff all night. It doesn't bother me. One bit. One bit. At all. Ask my roommate of ours.
The day was capped off when one of the restaurant staff discovered his hero, 1995 Baja 1000 trophy truck winner, Larry Ragland, was in his midst. He ran home to get a photograph for Larry to autograph. It made his day as enjoyable as that of the riders. The fourth day was another long 300-mile day. It had some taking extra precautions.
Oh, just putting a little padding down for my little sissy ass today because I'm getting a little sore, believe it or not. After all these miles, my fanny's finally starting to take its toll on me.
This day would be remembered as the beach day, as the route headed riders directly to the Pacific coast for miles and miles of fun. salt tidal flats provided lots of fun until the fog got so thick riders could barely find their way through it. Look at those seashells.
But I want to tell you that we're going to ask Malcolm for a rebate because we didn't get to see part of this because of the fog this morning.
I agree with Dave on that. I think we need to get a rebate on this morning ride. We couldn't see anything because of the fog.
90 miles and that baby's still tucked in good. You gotta love that.
So is your butt feeling better this morning?
My butt is so happy, I can't even tell you. I'm just happy. I mean, sitting on the toilet isn't going to be something I'm going to dread tomorrow. You know? And Larry, you're lucky to be alive. After watching your foot peg break off while you were doing a wheelie at 70. So, thank you. You know, count your lucky stars and all that stuff. And, I think you know what it was. It was the fact that you were right next to this. We'll put this there. Let me pull it out. We'll put this right in the camera. You were so close to this St. Christopher that it saved your life. Just the karma of it being right next to you when you had that happen, it probably saved your life.
After over 100 miles, it was into San Juanico at Punta Puegina for gas and food. Neither the pumping method nor the metering system was anything people were used to in America. But the fact this small fishing village had gas at all and repair facilities was greatly appreciated, especially by Larry Toby, who had to have a foot peg welded. Next, it was off to the Palapa restaurant out on the point. This is a famous surf spot. After lunch, riders made their way to the beach for more than 20 miles of fun. The low tide provided good traction and endless enjoyment.
You only need foot pegs and rough stuff.
All the play provided quite a show for the local residents. But the playing on the beach wasn't nearly as entertaining as watching the riders tackle the soft sand dune hill after getting accustomed to all the traction on the beach. Watching rider after rider showed an interesting display of contrasting riding styles. There was the wiggle approach, the bouncing approach, the popular paddle method, the maybe if I fall on the bottom, I won't fall on the hill concepts. The fall after reaching the top approach. The I'll just show everyone how it's done and wheelie up approach. Whoops. The engineer approach, which calculated the angle and length of the hill and determined that traversing sideways would decrease the angle and exponentially increase the odds for a successful attempt. The drag strip model, which relies on getting the tires hot to improve traction. The I'm tired and I think I'll just stop and rest halfway up concept. The once is never enough crowd that believes it would be twice as much fun to have multiple attempts. The if I can't make it, at least I will keep my buddy from making it approach. The Pumpkin Club approach. A remarkable resemblance. Then there were those who must have been watching the locals and soared up like a bird. Malcolm Smith take out the camera guy approach. The it ain't pretty, but it works approach. The I'm over 70 years old and I'll go up any damn way I feel like it approach. And finally, the Malcolm, what's the surcharge if I have you take the bike up for me approach.
Was that a little too much beach? No. No way, huh?
All in all, great fun and entertainment.
Who's your best friend in the sand? Mr. Mo. Mr. Momentum.
Before leaving the coast, Larry gave up his camera long enough to indulge in some one-on-one play on the beach with the legend. After all the play, it was over to the road and down to La Purísima for some much-needed fuel. Up and down a few hills and valleys, and the ride routed into a little oasis in the canyon at San Jose de Comandú. Riders who weren't running too late were able to go over to San Miguel de Comandú and step back in time about 200 years.
Incredibles, I don't know.
20 miles on the beach this morning had to be the highlight.
That was something else, huh?
I love the rock.
Which one?
The one Bags hit.
Face first. Did a face plant.
Strawberry Vita.
It was a good time to relax, visit with locals, tour the mission, and enjoy the oasis before climbing back out of the valley and over to the Sea of Cortez.
They're started. We've got wild Mustangs right in front of us.
After climbing over the final mountain range, the view of the coast signaled an end of another 300-mile day and a total of about 900 miles.
All right, about all I wanted.
Another good day. Time to relax, visit, and settle in.
Oh, rhyme too close.
Aha, somebody kicked a rock, huh?
Kicked it one sideways.
Look, baby, look.
It's a little bit warm. Has it been through the desert? In front of me, just single line, just squeezing back and forth.
You bet.
No sand dunes between, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Malcolm, you better grab some.
Yeah, use the crate.
I knew it. I got it in the parking lot. I dragged my bike across the lot, laying on its side. And I used Malcolm's special peg-to-peg treatment, and the rope wrapped around the peg and wouldn't release, and the tow vehicle towed my motorcycle about 30 yards. So thank you, Malcolm.
The fifth day was another long day. The ride started out on the Gulf Coast at Laredo and crossed the peninsula to the Pacific Coast, then routed riders along the beach before crossing the peninsula again and into the town of La Paz on the Gulf Coast. After climbing up out of the mountains near Laredo, the first stop was at the San Javier Mission, built in the 1750s. The next stop was at Ciudad Constitucion for gas and lunch. After lunch, it was down the GMC highway to Santa Rita, where a support truck waited with fuel and water. From here, there were 3 splits. One allowed an easy ride down the road for those whose butts already felt like hamburger. The original route allowed riders to get to the coast quick enough to enjoy a good beach ride, followed with some great silk beds. Malcolm led about a dozen hardcore guys on a macho route. The camera crew took this route, which headed directly west to the bay before entering the fun stuff.
He has 14 guys going on the macho ride.
Then the rocks begin.
How many guys do we have?
All right.
After some sightseeing, it was along some fast 2-track roads over to the cactus-infested sand dunes.
Oh, going for the wide corner.
After a little searching for a trailhead, Malcolm led the group down a road that got narrower and narrower until it soon disappeared, and it was everyone for themselves as they worked through the deep, deep sand.
Well, Malcolm, it looks like you got everybody stuck. Are you happy?
Fabulous. Great fun.
Lots of sand, deep sand, but it's fun. Good times.
Much cactus. Lots of good cactus. Gotta make those turns.
I haven't seen any dust yet. I don't know what they're talking about.
Quality cactus, fun ride.
What do you think of that stuff Malcolm took you through?
I thought it was pretty good.
All I can say is I haven't had to use my hemostats once.
After a little rest, it was back through the sand and cactus over to the bluff above the coast.
Yeah, I tried to go over and stayed on top of that bush back there. Actually, the bike did. I went in front of it.
Well,
Great. I think we should go back and do it again.
Yeah, a couple times,
Let's
huh?
go back and do it again.
I think so. I think we should add a little bit more sand.
A little more?
We ought to do it again. Go back.
Yeah. You have to find a new trail next year that's too cut in.
Down the dune to the beach for some great playing. Some may have had a little too much play in them.
I knew I could do it sooner or later.
You feeling all right?
Just fine. Just pride.
Malcolm, Dennis, and Brian Lepley didn't quite get enough play and worked their way back up the bluff so they could do it all again. It was down the beach and then over to the original route.
Well, just my second flat today.
Well, he said if I didn't fix this, I wouldn't get home.
They found the senorita somewhere on the beach and they won't tell us about it. You know, they claimed it had been stuck to the sill.
After catching the last of the riders and getting them underway, it was time to squeeze in every last mile of beach time. While most riders had arrived at the hotel, settled in and got comfortable, the last of the group was running very late, allowing them to watch the sunset and use their lights the last 60 miles. Another great day of riding and a total of about 1,200 miles completed. The ride started out on a high note and just got better with each passing day. The sixth and final day would continue the trend by offering some of the most spectacular scenery of the trip and lots of playtime on the beach. It would end in the beautiful resort town of Cabo San Lucas. After leaving town, the ride headed down the pavement through Los Plains and Boca del Alamo before heading up the pass to the beautiful Gulf Coast. After running along through the desert, it was very impressive coming over the mountains and seeing the coast. beaches along this section of Baja are second to none. There were miles and miles of scenic roads along the coast before going into the restaurant Calafia for lunch. After lunch, riders made their way towards the beach. Once on the beach, it was pure play.
fantastic. It's been incredible. I didn't have any idea it'd be like this.
Exceeded your expectations?
By far. By far. Great bunch of guys, great riding. Just incredible beach here. It's hard to believe it's over. It's the last day.
It's one of the most memorable things I've ever done, ever. Unforgettable. Never seen anything like it. Great group of people to be with. Beautiful country.
Money well spent?
Money well spent with twice the price at least. Really good.
After playing on the beach, it was down the road to San Jose del Cabo, but not until one last opportunity to play.
How about the work job down there? That wave, man, it kept coming and coming.
Oh, no. Evidence.
What are you doing, Mark?
Oh, somebody went by a Pemex station without stopping. Then they went and played on the beach too long.
Spent too much time playing on the beach.
And that wouldn't be, you didn't pass two of them, did you? One of them, even after you ran out of gas once?
Finally, it was down the highway to the Hotel Las Misiones del Cabo, a fitting end to a wonderful trip and over 1,300 miles of beautiful country, wonderful people, and great riding. Thanks, Malcolm. It was time to clean up, load the bikes, and begin the bench racing. When all was done but the partying, it was over to the Giorgio restaurant to give out awards, wind down with friends, and reminisce about the previous week.
You guys are unbelievable. I expected about a 20 to 30% dropout rate, everybody riding in the van. Did we have enough seats in the van for everybody? Everybody rode motorcycles all the way. That is really great, guys. Okay, the awards. Okay, we have the Ambassador Award. These awards were hard to give out. There's so many people that could be nominated or given to, and it's hard to decide which guy, this guy, that guy. So it was really a hard decision. It's like a Miss America beauty pageant. They all look good. Anyway, the riders that promoted goodwill and friendship between the USA and Mexico. Dave Rockland. Okay, Spirit of Baja to the most helpful rider. This was a tough one. We had a lot of guys that really pitched in and helped people. The winner was a Mormon from Utah. Where's Preston? Every time anybody had any problem, Preston had his giant toolkit out that he carried with him and was right down in the ground fixing them. And you guys that don't know Preston Gerber, he was the hottest thing in desert racing for 25 years. Another one that was hard to decide. Most supreme sacrifice. There wasn't any supreme sacrifices. I thought somebody would do something really outstanding there, but there was just one guy that always helped, always wanted to help. San Ignacio, the night when I got there, I felt like crying. I mean, I was whipped, tired, hadn't slept any, things weren't working. A guy came up to me and said, "Hey, this ride is really good. I'm glad you're doing it." Race Guthrie. This is the Cherry Award. This is to the rental bike that came to Cabo in the best condition. The rental bike that got here, perfect and clean. Blurton, stand up here. Are you sure you rode the course, or did you just ride the pavement down every day? Okay, this is the Timex Award. This was a hard one too because there were a lot of guys fixing things and keeping going, not giving up. All you guys are successful in your life and businesses and whatever you do, and it shows here. You just keep going, keep chugging along, fix it, figure out the way to go, solve the problem and do it. Anyway, one guy took a really bad crash the first day. It was one of those holes where I said, boy, I hope somebody doesn't come into that. Well, he did. And I was waiting, and he didn't show up, and I came back, and he's kind of coming down the trail of headlights falling off. Anyway, Wolfman here.
After 6 days through the warm, friendly, beautiful countryside of Baja and a day of R&R in Cabo, it was on the bus to La Paz and then a flight over the country the riders had just traveled through and into Tijuana. A week that will never be forgotten. In the words of many, thanks, Malcolm.
All I know is there's that Jim, there's Wayne, there's Kent, there's Mark, there's F. Ryan, and Carl. Just marvelous, marvelous, marvelous people. But I think I can summarize everything I want to say in some I tried to put it in one little condensed thing. It's one thing to be a world-class rider and guy, which Malcolm is, and it's one thing to have a world-class event in terms of the organization and the kind of people, and that's the key. It's the attraction and the putting together of as many marvelous guys as I've met here. It takes something very special to attract very special people. So I think this has been a world-class activity attended by world-class guys, and I'm expressing the feeling that a lot of people have expressed to me. Some great people, and Malcolm, we're grateful and we're proud and we're very happy. Thank you very much.